We'll take Q&A. So just put your hand up and Ivon will try to get to you and throw the question out at us and ask anyone.
The idea of superhero come to you?
The idea for superhero? Well, I think that I just try to live out the fantasies I had as a kid now that I have some resources. So like as a kid, I always wanted to be a superhero. So I was like, I'm gonna wear a costume and act in my own film and feel cool about it. That's the most honest, greedy, selfish answer I'll give you. But the idea for superhero actually came from a few things. One of the first films I ever watched in theaters, at least that I remember, is Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man film. So that has a very huge place in my heart. I mean, one thing that I get told very often is like, oh my God, there's so many brown people in the film. And I'm not one who really pushes for like having to cast certain colors, but it's more like the idea that whenever I see people of color in a film, it's always they're only cast for that culture. So it's like if you cast a brown person, they have to have a role that's related to being brown. But I was like, what if we just cast people to play characters? So like Jason is just a guy who runs a restaurant and Samar's just a superhero who's like, you know. So that was a part of it. You know, there's a lot of things, especially I really wanted to make a romantic film with some really heartbreaking scenes, stuff like that. I mean, I'm probably going to give you a really BS answer. It's probably really, really, really deep why I actually made the film.
Go for it.
Yeah. I really liked your album Carnival, so I was just wondering what got you into music.
Hans Zimmer did, actually. I really got into Hans Zimmer's music in high school, and that sort of inspired me to actually want to pursue a career as a film composer first. And while working on Carnival, when I was doing the videos for it, I was like, oh, actually, I want to combine audio, music, and the visuals. And then I pursued directing. I think that a lot of people find it easy to talk to me. So I was like, what if I could capture that experience and then wrap the flaws of that into a film? Like, it's actually not really that perfect of a thing to be, you know, I guess you know what it is. I've realized that I have a savior complex, or I've had one in my life. So I was like, let's create a character that has a savior complex.
You're good.
Directing the other actors and then also directing yourself. Like, how was that process?
That was this challenge that I sort of took up in pre-production. What I did was I did so many rehearsals that I wanted to do 80% of my job as a director before we got onto set, so that a lot of the actors were self-managing and that they knew their characters almost maybe better than I do. But at the same time, there was a limitation in terms of time, so we only would have about 2 takes per scene, just because of the time and our budget is. And before I continue answering that question, does anyone want to guess what the budget of this film is? You read that online. It was $26,000. It's $26,000, and just for the record, $50,000 is considered the minimum for SAG, which is the union. So you know we actually didn't have the money while we were shooting the film. I kind of just was like, it'll come, and it came. Being very honest, we were shooting and spending money that we did not have. And so yeah, I think that as an actor, I guess when I was on set, I was actually just being an actor like with them and just acting. I was less of a director. Sometimes I would have to step in, but I feel like a lot of my job as a director was in pre-production.
Compared to Monster, like your first film, how was it different working with the cast?
Oh, it was a much easier team to work with. So I think that the experience from Monster was interesting because it was my first film, so there's a lot of things you don't know. And every film, even if you like work on it, you're like, you still like, it's like now that I'm planning for my next film, what I'm going through right now mentally is I don't know how to direct, I don't know how to act, I have to relearn all of that. So that is a common experience through everything, but it was honestly one of the smoothest experiences. So all our problems, and I'm blessed to say this, that were only about the film. And I didn't have that luxury in Monster. All of our problems had almost nothing to do with the film. So that's one of the big differences.